there's just one more thing we need to do to get ready for Thursday night's class, and that's actually look at the activity that we're going to be doing to collect resources and ideas in the TRC. So we're going to go to the TRC, and I have pulled a lot of different materials for you to consider, review, look at for inspiration and to launch your investigation further into the TRC. So while you're going to start at the station, I also want to encourage you, if you see something that you think you might be able to find something directly related to your unit out in the TRC, I want you to go and find it. The purpose of this is not for me to pull a lot of resources that go with your unit. I want to show you some of the breadth of the materials that are in the TRC to inspire you to spend the next hour looking in the TRC and finding things for your unit. So you're going to do a unit idea tool, and I have included a link to this, and you can make a copy for yourself, and you decide if you and your partner both want to create one document together and share it, or if you're each going to create your own idea and your own exploration. In moving through the stations, I'm going to ask you to sit no more than 3 or 4 to a table, and there are 5 stations to work through, so just be thinking about how you want to organize that work. If you and your partner want to split up and take different perspectives and see what you find on your own and then come together and compare ideas, or if you and your partner work best generating ideas off of each other and want to move through the stations together, it's entirely up to you. This is really a very flexible and exploratory time. So what you're going to do is you're going to put in your learning targets column. You're going to fill in the targets from your checkpoint 2. Those are the things that you are assessing. They're the big ideas that you know you want your students to learn. I just want you to keep those front and center. If you found a couple of videos or an image or an interesting collection on Discovery Education, plug it into your representation column to remind yourself that it's there, what it was. You might even paste a link in. You're going to look at several stations in the TRC that have other kinds of representations. So for example, there's a textbook station, there's a big book station, there's kits, videos, and trade books, and those are all going to be representational possibilities that you can use with your students. Now, for example, at the big book station, I want you to dive into those and take a look at them. Notice why they might make powerful visuals for some of the learners in your class. Think about ways you could use them in a lot of different parts of your day for your unit. If you don't know ways to use them, Google strategies for using big books. Teachers have been thinking about this for a long time, and there's a lot of inspiration out there. If you put your ideas in the chart, they'll be there to help you remember. Now, I didn't pull all of the big books, and I didn't pull all of the big books related to everybody's unit. Some of you will see your unit represented there, but you'll notice the big book shelves. So after you've had a chance to kind of play in the ones at the table, go searching, look in the big book collections, and see if there's something that's more relevant for you. When you're at the kits, videos, and trades, I've pulled a broad selection of things. If you like the idea of a kit, but you don't see one that hits your unit, you'll find where the kits are in the TRC if you go looking and exploring. And there's probably another kit or another video in the collection or another trade book. You can Google or use the Radford catalog and filter by the TRC to figure out what trade books are there in the children's literature section. You have the multicultural station, which is a lot of different perspectives on teaching multiple perspectives, which any of us who are teaching social studies need to keep in mind. Those are texts. You're not going to read them. What I'd like for you to do is browse table of contents, look at a chapter that's intriguing, get a sense of the author's meaning, the author's style, its relevance for your unit. If there's a text in there that might offer you some insights as an adult implementing this topic in your classroom, note the title, and that would go, most of those ideas would probably go under engagement or expression, because we know that when we honor their life experiences, we are more likely to get them engaged. Or they might offer you insights in how to let your students show you how their life experiences connect with the work that you're doing in class. And so those You might plug that text under engagement or expression because it's a resource you could consult later to get ideas for that. You might even jump on an idea in this exploratory period. The important thing is don't limit yourself to what's in the book. So for example, at the Methods and Strategies station, there's a book in there about foldables for a unit in U.S. history or manipulatives. Okay, so maybe your unit's not in that book, but could you use the same technique for the content that's in your unit? Let's say you see a foldable on ancient Rome. Well, if you're doing a foldable on ancient Egypt, or if you're doing a foldable on the 3 branches of government, or could you do a foldable on any unit that you would be bringing to the table? Not that you're making a decision to do that. You're just going to put that in as an expression option in the chart above. This is really about generating ideas. I would think you would generate a lot that you won't end up using given the limited scope of your unit. But I really want you to take your time and play and see some things and process what dynamic resources we have available in the TRC. We don't need to be confined to what you can Google or what you can find online. And I also want to encourage you, after you go through this process with our class in the TRC, check out your school library and see what they have to offer. So you'll notice in here there are some places where I've asked you to answer some questions. So locate the textbook section for elementary social studies. Describe where it's located. Just plug that answer right into the worksheet. Find the leveled reading collections that are with the reading textbooks and describe where they're located. Plug that answer in right here. In the check out the kits and videos. There's a shelf of these in the TRC. I want you to go find them. I want you to tell me where they're located. I want you to find the big books that are related to social studies. So I want you to figure out what's in the methods and strategy section. I just pulled a handful of things that might be relevant to you. So this is really the focus of our activity. We're also going to use the die cut machine to make our globe book covers that we'll put on our learning logs, and we will come back to those learning logs for the next several weeks as we process unit options and activities for the classroom.